I wanted to share a message on standing your ground even when no one has your back and you're stuck in the corner. Isaiah 36:18 says, "Do not let Hezekiah mislead you when he says, 'The Lord will deliver us.' Have the gods of any nations ever delivered their lands from the hand of the king of Assyria?" This is when the Assyrian king's messenger is mocking King Hezekiah for going to God to deliver them and save them from the Assyrians, which no one had ever done. Rabshakeh, the messenger, was not only doubting God, but he was also doubting Hezekiah and his faith in that time. Going back to a story in 2 Samuel, with the main character being Shammah, when he was faced in a very similar situation where it was just him, no one around him, no one supporting him, everyone casting doubt onto what he would do, everyone fleeing and leaving him there to rely on himself and in God. In 2 Samuel 23:11-12 it says, "Next to him was Shammah, son of Agi the Hararite. When the Philistines banded together at a place where there was a field full of lentils, Israel's troops fled from them. But Shammah took his stand in the middle of the field. He defended it and struck the Philistines down, and the Lord brought about a great victory." The main thing is that he refused to run when others did. When the rest of the Israelites ran and were more worried about themselves and the land that they were protecting and didn't have faith in themselves and in God, he stood ground. He took pride in what he knew he was able to do and what he knew that God was able to do through him with his faith. He knew that the Philistines were coming to take over that field full of lentils, and no matter what it was, he was going to protect it with his whole life. He was going to be the one that stood up and stood against what the Philistines were doing and did what was right. There's going to be times in life where people abandon you or they doubt you. You set these dreams, you set these goals, and people will laugh at them. The biggest thing that you could do for yourself is double down on yourself in your faith, and that'll be able to help you get to where you want to be. You have to stand your ground even when it seems impossible, even when it seems like you're the only one pushing towards what you want in life. Shammah really was the only one that wanted to protect the field of lentils. When everyone else could have thought that the Israeli army would have stuck together and fought for that, everyone else left, but he was the one that stood because he had faith in himself that he could protect it. And then this is just showing God's power in action, like I was talking about before. When people are doubting faith, when people are doubting God, it just shows all more when that one specific person does show their faith and they do stand for what's right. God will bring you the victory. When you trust in his strength rather than your own, that'll lead to the long-term success that you won't get relying on your own strength. It could only take you so far. But in these stories that I mentioned, with King Hezekiah putting his trust in God and being able to survive the attack from the Assyrians, and in this story with Shammah, with the attack from the Philistines, when you stand your ground and you go to God for these certain things, he will provide the victory for you. Trust in God, go to God, and everything will work out the way it's supposed to. Stand your ground and leave the doubters where they are, behind you.